Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video, I'd like to speak with you about broker transparency when it comes to broker transaction records. But first, roll the intro. Welcome back. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses, in your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased on owner operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always guys, big thank you for all the likes you've provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep them coming, and let's talk about this broker transparency issue when it comes to broker transaction records. Tell me who your customer is and how much do they pay you. Ultimately guys, these are laws that have been on the books forever. Now we're looking at potential amendments, the changes, updates, etc., and that's what we're going to cover in the rest of this video. Guys, before I move forward, I wanted to ask you your opinion on the new format of the videos, and also please make sure to stick around to the rest of the video. When we switch over to camera looking over at the loads that we book for our customers, we changed that completely, and I think you guys are going to like it. I certainly like it. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below, or just hit that like button. That'll tell us everything that we need to know. You may have heard of OOIDA, you may have heard of SBTC. Both of these organizations are fighting on behalf of the carriers, and in this case, they're looking for broker transparency. OOIDA went ahead and sent a letter to the FMCSA back in 2020, and they never heard back. It was regarding this broker transparency issue and broker transaction records about, again, like we said at the beginning, who paid you and how much did they pay you? Give me that information. Now, they sent this letter, never heard back. FMCSA came back around recently and said, listen, expect a decision to be made in early 2023, in spring of 2023. Now, the question is this going to change the industry? Is this going to benefit the truckers? Is it going to be positive, or is it going to be negative, or maybe it won't make any change at all? And the FMCSA's argument is that, there are certain statutory limitations, there are certain statutory authority bounds that they don't want to cross, and that, we're basically treading thin ice here, and we have to be very careful on the side of the FMCSA. The question that the OOIDA and SBTC and other organizations want answered is that what we want for the carriers is for the broker to provide within 48 hours of load completion this information: who paid you and how much. And SBTC, the other organization fighting for the rights of truckers and carriers, is basically saying, listen, there's all these waive your rights provisions inside of contracts that you're basically forcing carriers to sign in order to do business with you. We need to prohibit these things. And basically what those waive your rights provisions are is me as a carrier waiving my right to ever ask for this information. If you want to do business with this broker, you're waiving your rights. So, in a nutshell, that's what that means. And ultimately, motor carriers have the right to know this information. Again, it's been on the books forever, but many of you guys who have ever tried that have found it to be a bad, negative thing. What did they generally find? They found that the load is covered, the broker doesn't want to talk about it, the broker hangs up on you, the broker puts you in their little black book of carriers to never ever work again, and carriers ultimately learned that, I'd rather not have that information and have the opportunity to continue working with said broker. And so that's how it's continued forever and ever. And again, if you've had success in that area, please leave your comments in the comment section below. Let the entire community benefit from your experiences. And if you had the opposite experience, we also would love to hear from you in the comment section below. Obviously, it would help to know the amounts are earned by the broker and what's going on and how much of that we're getting in our part of the, our piece of the pie. Now, there's another organization called TIA, which is basically the OOIDA or the SBTC of the broker side, fighting for the, for the inclusion of brokers with all the rights and their rights to continue doing business the way that they have been doing business, etc., etc. They represent brokers, and they're currently asking for a repeal of the current laws that are in the books now, much less the addition of additional laws or the amendments that would actually go against the brokers and in favor of the carrier. So, they have this dogfight of these different organizations trying to fight for their representatives, basically, which would be the truckers and the brokers. So, enough said there. In addition to all this, they're basically saying that amongst all the problems that this would create, this is basically a set of unnecessary restrictions set upon brokers that is basically unfair, and that this would actually impede the natural flow of the market, the way that capitalism works, the way that democracy works, the way that we have our beautiful beautiful system in the United States, and this would, be really, really bad and go against everything that we know to be true. And, I can see that being the case as well. At the same time, there are accusations of brokers colluding on price. We've had that for years and years and years in the past. We've had that over the past 2 years, and now we really have that going on right now, now that the markets have declined as much as they have. In fact, it's so much that President Donald Trump actually alleged back in 2020 that there was price gouging, and he was basically wagging his finger at this, saying that this needs to stop. TIA jumped in 2020 and said, absolutely not, this is not happening, this is not the case, and that was kind of shut down. And but ultimately what it comes down to, and we can verify this, that whenever markets decline, whenever we have bad markets, generally speaking, there are more complaints about price gouging and price collusion between 3PLs, freight forwarders, what have you, direct customers. There are more complaints of that, and the reverse is true. When the markets are good, like over the last couple of years, they generally do decline because, truckers were making money hand over fist, brokers were in a tough position, and although they did make their money as well, let's not let them off the hook this easy. But ultimately, these things ebb and flow based on market conditions, and right now the market isn't very good at all, and these complaints are up. So I'd love to hear your comments in a comment section below. Let us know how you like the new format. Smash that like button if you like it. Leave a comment. Let us know if you've had any success in dealing with brokers in such a way. Have you ever gotten that information from them? Did you get blacklisted? What was your experience, whether good or bad? We'd love to hear from you guys. I'm going to switch over to camera. We're going to look over the lows that we book for our customers, and make sure to stick around to that portion because we changed that up completely, and we want to get your opinion on that as well. I think you'll like it. So see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back, guys. Let's take a look at some of these loads. The market has certainly declined, yet our guys are still able to hit $8,000 to $9,000 in many cases, and you too can. We'll give you the information at the end of the video. Let's start off with a reefer coming out of New London, Wisconsin, going to Macon, Georgia. Reefer, 42,000-pound load of general freight, 1,011 miles, booked at $3,400, got him $336 a mile. Then McDonough, Georgia, going to Little Rock, Arkansas, with a 17,000-pound light load of frozen foods at -10 on a reefer. 556 miles, booked at $1,700, gets him $306 a mile. Then North Little Rock, Arkansas, going to Springfield, Ohio. Barely any deadhead there. 40,000-pound load of FAK, 694 miles, booked at $2,000, gets $288 a mile. Then they finished off with Columbus, Ohio, going to Atlanta, Georgia, staying in the southeast. 35,000-pound load of refrigerated foods, running -5 on a reefer. 572 miles, booked at $2,150, got him $376 a mile. Had an excellent week, 7 days on the road, grossed $9,250 for the week. Ran 2,833 loaded miles at an average of 327 per loaded mile average, which is incredible, especially considering they basically stayed in the southeast, which is absolutely bonkers. Now we're going to switch over to a dry van coming out of Bensalem, Pennsylvania, going to Johnstown, New York. It's a 44,000-pound load of chemicals. It's a non-hazardous material load. It's a regulated load. 260 miles, booked at $1,042, gets them $401 a mile. Then right out of Johnstown, New York, zero deadhead, going to Pottsville, Pennsylvania, with a 42,000-pound load of bottled water. 256 miles, booked at $700, gets them $273 a mile. Then York, Pennsylvania to Shodak Landing, New York, with a 43,000-pound load of food and beverage products. 322 miles, booked at $1,300, gets them $404 a mile. Then out of Saratoga Springs, New York, going to Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, with a 37,000-pound load of FAK. 378 miles, booked at $1,200, gets them $317 a mile. Then Winchester, Virginia to Monroe Township, New Jersey, with a 41,000-pound load of dry goods. 266 miles, booked at $1,100, gets them $414 a mile. And they finished off with Brainsville, Pennsylvania, going to Amsterdam, New York, with a 40,000-pound load of miscellaneous grocery items. 242 miles, booked at $1,000, gets them $413 per mile. So they actually ran for 6 days on the road, Monday to Sunday, ended up grossing $6,342 for those 6 days. Excellent rate. That's over $2,000 a day. Ran 1,724 loaded miles at an average of 368 per loaded mile average in a regular drive-in, running mainly the Northeast with some short runs. So great job there. Then we're going to look over another drive-in coming out of Iowa City, Iowa, going to, this looks like a multi-drop. It's a round trip. 2 drops in looks like Lima, Ohio, going to, and as well as Iowa City, Iowa on a way back round trip. 40,000 pound load of potatoes, 867 miles, booked at $2,600. Gets them exactly $3 a mile on a round trip basis. Excellent, excellent job. Then Cedar Rapids, Iowa, going to far west Utah. 23,000 pound load of foodstuffs, fairly light load, lots of miles at 1,180 miles, booked at $3,200. Gets them $271 a mile. Then they left Ogden, Utah to Laurel, Montana. It's a FAK load at 42,000 pounds on a weight, 499 miles, booked at $1,400. Gets them $281 per loaded mile average. Well, on that one, just $281. Anyway, they ran for 7 days on the road, grossed $7,200 in a regular dry van, ran 2,500, 46 loaded miles at $283 per loaded mile average. An excellent, excellent job. Another reefer coming out of Highland, Texas, going to Logan Township, New Jersey, with a 40,000 pound load of oil. It's a 1,512 mile load, running at $3,300 for the load. That's $218 per loaded mile. And then they took a load with 2 picks out of Pensacola, New Jersey, going to College Park, Georgia. Light load, 15,000 pounds of food product. And it's running between 34 and 70 degrees on a reefer, a really big range there. 796 miles, booked at $2,500, gets them $314 a mile. And then right out of College Park, Georgia, zero deadhead, going to Franklin, Indiana. 40,000 pound load of kids meals, -10 on a reefer. 522 miles, booked at $1,217, which gets them $233 per mile. 7 days on the road, grossed $7,017 in 7 days. Ran 2,830 loaded miles at an average of 248 in a regular reefer. Next, we got ourselves a dry van coming out of Chesapeake, Virginia, going to Marietta, Oklahoma, with a 40,000 pound strawberry jelly load, 40,000 pounds. 1,412 loaded miles at an average of $2,000. The average at dollar amount $2,974, gets them $211 per mile. Then Clinton, Oklahoma to Corinne, Utah, 42,000 pound load of groceries. It's 1,104 miles, booked at $3,000, gets them $272 a mile. And then they did the impossible, pulled them out of Bear River City, or I think it's Bear River City, Utah, going to Billings, Montana, and a second drop in Great Falls, Montana. Light load, paid well, 18,000 pounds of personal care products, 700 miles, get them out of that market at $2,000, gets them $286 a mile, which is an excellent rate because there's nothing in Corinne except a Walmart, and not much in Bear River City either. So great job there. So they ran for a week, grossed $7,974 for the 7 days, over $1,000 a day, ran 3,216 loaded miles at an average of 248 per loaded mile average in a regular dry van. And we're going to finish off with a dry van coming out of Eugene, Oregon, going to Iowa City, Iowa, with a 40,000 pound load of dry goods, 1,916 miles, booked at $3,800, gets them $198 to go to a good market. Then Madison, Iowa to Vanori, Tennessee, with a 42,000 pound load of prepared and preserved foods, 687 miles, booked at $1,900, gets them $277 a mile. And then Athens, Tennessee to Greensboro, North Carolina, with a 10,000 pound light load of pool supplies, 343 miles, booked at $750, gets them $219 a mile. They finished off with Whiteville, Virginia, going to Mechanicsville, Virginia, short run. It's a full scale, low to scale load of beverages, 256 miles, booked at $850, gets them $332 a mile, going to a decent market. Running for 7 days, grossing $7,300 on their 3,202 loaded miles at an average of 228 per loaded mile average is good in my book. And you too can make this kind of money. We make these videos every single week. You've seen us show you guys really remarkable loads during the peak of the market, and we're still doing quite well. Yes, the market is declining, but ultimately what it comes down to is being able to make the top dollar that you deserve, whether you're a leased on owner operator or a carrier operating under their own MC authority, or you have company drivers, what have you. The main point right now is you got to make sure to save on your operating costs. So if you're being overcharged by the lease outfit that you guys got going on out there, or if you're paying too much for as a carrier, or you're not getting the kind of gross that this market still allows for, this is where you need to start making changes. The first thing you got to do, where it all begins, is by getting in touch with us. Call or text us at 801-448-6363, or you can go to our website at aftdispatch.com/go, or you could fill out our chat box on any one of our web pages. It takes 10 seconds. Just fill it out, get us the information. We'll call you. We'll respond, answer any questions that you may have, and hopefully get you started if it's a good fit. But again, 801-448-6363. Call or text. Go to our website at aftdispatch.com or fill out the chat box. Most importantly, don't rest on your laurels, because this market will drain your pockets. Guys, until next week, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care.